So I wanted to tell y'all something that while it was fresh on my mind and to make it easier to grasp, I wanted to start from the beginning and go to the end, and then when I'm at the end, explain it backwards back to the beginning. So Adam and Eve wanted to be their own gods, and a god means a judge. So they wanted to judge for themselves as a source of wisdom, which was what Satan suggested to them. And they followed suit, and they were gonna go with Satan's um, parallel law, right? So they believed that they could be their own gods, and so that would be like polytheism. So starting from there, you go down to Babylon, who had polytheism. You go to Persia, who had polytheism. Then you go to Greece, the Greek culture that had polytheism, and then Rome had polytheism, and then polytheism went into hiding under the false cover of Christianity. So it's a polytheistic system where people can judge for themselves um, who God is and what God is, as the Pope, who claims to be the vicar of Christ. And some people say vicar has the same meaning as anti. So it's basically like instead of Christ, right? And so anti can mean instead or in opposition. So vicar and anti can have the same intended meaning. So from the Babel of, from the, from the Garden of Eden, which is near the Mesopotamian, right? We don't know exactly where those rivers were after the flood, but like the four rivers that are mentioned in Genesis. So it starts at Adam and Eve in the garden, it goes to Babylon, then it goes to Persia, then it goes to Greece, then it goes to Rome, and then it goes under the cover of Christianity into the Roman Catholic system. Then it goes in today where everybody, at least in America, has completely lost their minds and think that everybody can be God, which is really just being right back in the garden like it was. So let me explain it backwards because I think that it's easier to see things now in our present, the way that we see reality and can view reality today. We can see things around us, right? And then we can backtrack it. So everyone today thinks it's okay to judge for themselves, to be their own God. And then you go, like, and you understand where we got our culture. Our culture is a combination of Roman, Greek, Persian, and Babylonian cultures through the way that those dispersed themselves throughout the different times, like the way that people ventured off from those original people who shared a common land and a common place, like the Noah and his sons, and Genesis chapter 3, and the lands of Shinar, which is modern day Iraq, would have ventured off from there, and then people would have went to all of their different respective locations. And then under Persia, there would be people branching off everywhere still from that original civilization, but then Persia would have taken over. So Persia would have taken on some of the Babylonian culture, and then when Greece took over Persia, they would have got absorbed some of the Persian culture, which would have had some of the Babylonian culture mixed in. And then Rome would be an amalgamation of those different cultures until you get right down to the present day with all of our languages and all of our cultures and traditions. And you would see how things have changed. But even though they've changed, they've just gone undercover under those different empires who had ruled the world. And so that is just an interesting thing to understand as far as our culture and our traditions of today. If you can really grasp what I just said, I think that your mind would be really blown understanding our traditions and our culture, like Easter and Christmas, and just the celebration of the solstices and the equinoxes, and even the way that our calendars um, and our months and years and the way we divide time, and how that is intricately linked into those different empires and civilizations who have ruled throughout the different millenniums. So I hope that this will serve to help edify anyone who's interested. Okay, have a good one. Bye.